Hey guys, welcome back to the Homestead. So today what we're going to do is go ahead and do an assembly video of the new stainless steel distiller by Clawhammer Supply. We got that in the mail the other day, did an unboxing of it. Now I want to show you how we put it together. We're going to get ready for a run on water distilling here on the Homestead because we use water, the distilled water, for our battery banks, for our solar. We use it for our colloidal silver. There's lots of uses for distilled water, and this is a great addition. It would be a great addition to any homestead that may be out there. So we're going to run today is just do the assembly step by step, show you how it works, and then give you some other pointers on the distiller. On this side of the distiller, you'll see that there is a little opening, and this is for a heating element that comes as an option for the distiller that you can plug in and then plug into an outlet and then heat it that way. However, we're off grid. So what we're doing here, you may have noticed, this is the same place we do all of our pressure canning. Jamie does all of our pressure canning right here with our All-American 21 quart pressure canner. So we're going to do the same thing for this distiller. But we got to close this up, and this comes with this little piece right here and this high temperature silicone gasket. You're going to put the gasket in, put the piece on top. It fits perfectly on the gasket. The gasket is formed to fit onto that, and then just take a tri-clamp, swing it around like that, and then lock it in place. Really simple. All right. You're done there, so you just got to turn it around, and you'll see that this is a opening right here. If you have ordered with your distiller, one of the accessories is a temperature gauge. This is where you're going to plug that temperature gauge in. It doesn't come with that, right away. I mean, it's like an accessory. If you want to buy, most people when they do distilling want to have some sort of temperature gauge so they know, what their boiler is temperature-wise at all times. So this is where you're going to plug that in. Let's go ahead and do that now. Again, a stainless steel temperature gauge. Everything on this distiller here is 304 food grade stainless steel. Now, normally when you put anything on this, anything that has threading, you're going to put that plumber's thread tape. They include that with the purchase, so you want to do that. You want to go ahead and if you don't, it's easy to pick it up at any big box store. Walmart carries it. Just the plumber's thread tape, and put that on any threads that you have for your still. Next thing is going to be the top. The top goes on, and you'll notice right away that there's two ports right here, plus the main port for the column. We'll go ahead and latch this together, and I'll show you what that's for. You're going to take your clamp for this. Just wrap it around, and then tighten it up. Really simple. And on the bottom of this is another gasket. It's one of those really high temp silicone gaskets. So all food grade. They did a really good job sourcing all the materials for this still. Now these two ports, you'll notice one on each side right here. One is for the 5 psi pressure release. So if for some reason pressure builds up on the still, it gets to above 5 psi, this safety pressure release valve will blow and release the pressure. And also you have a pressure gauge. Now this is not included with the still. It's an accessory that you can purchase to go along with it if you want to. And again, you would use thread tape to put that in. However, this is really cool to point out. There's not a lot of people out there doing this. This safety pressure release valve that you see here is on most other models that are out there in the industry, they do not include this, or they charge you extra money for this safety release valve. This comes standard with every single one of their stainless steel stills, okay? They're not charging you extra for it. It's included. They think that's one of the reasons this puts them above all of their competitors, and it does. They include it as standard. A lot of places don't even give you a safety release valve, and if they do offer it, you have to pay extra. So that's a really neat feature that they put that in there with it. The next thing that's going to go on is the sight glass. So you put another gasket down, put the sight glass on top, and then put your tri-clamp around it. This is an accessory that does not come included with the still, a standard still, so you have to pay extra for that. But I mean, look at that. That's just that's something I would definitely want to get if I was going to buy one of these stills, is the sight glass, is include that with the purchase. It just looks great. You can see actually what's going on there. It makes it very attractive, and just definitely beneficial to have, I think. So the next thing we're going to do is attach the column. So you have another gasket right there. You put the column on top of the gasket. It fits perfectly the way it should. And you take your other tri-clamp and then wrap it around and attach it and tighten. There. Good to go. Okay, to the moon, Alice. The next thing we're going to do is attach this piece here, because we want to put in another temperature gauge up here so that we can see both the temperature at the bottom of the still and at the top of the column, which is very beneficial for people who are trying to distill ethanol or spirits or anything like that. It's just very, very good to know what your temperature is up here so that you know that you're getting the optimal temperature to distill the ethanol from your still. So another gasket. Put that up there, and then another tri-clamp. Bring the tri-clamp around and tighten it down. Good to go. And then, again, thread tape on the temperature gauge, and then go ahead and insert your temperature gauge into there. And that'll give you a good, accurate reading on the temperature of your column. And then last but not least, we have the condensing arm. So another gasket. High temperature silicone gasket goes on top of there. Condensing arm here. It's a little bit tricky because it's a little awkward. Swing that around, attach, and tighten. And then there's your condensing arm, all ready to go. One additional thing is this plastic tubing. It's high temperature silicone, and at least I believe it's silicone. I think that's what he said. And it's high temperature hose basically, and you attach it here. You put it on there, and there's a clamp that comes with it. You tighten the clamp down, and this allows you to take your distillates away, or whatever materials you're using, away from the still. So it can withstand the high temperature of being over a fire or wherever you're at, and so you attach it that way. And it's thick, guys. This is some really thick tubing. It's not just flimsy tubing. It's not going to kink on you, and so that's one of the dangers, using a hose in this manner. If it kinks, you have then the possibility of pressure buildup in your still, which can be dangerous. So this hose is a non-kink type hose. It's not going to kink on you. And so you put it on there and you run it away from your still, and where you can collect whatever it is that you're distilling. So pretty cool option. They give you that. That also is an accessory that you can purchase on the website. Now again, this is where we do all of our pressure canning in our outdoor kitchen. Jamie's in here a lot of time during the summer and putting up a lot of stuff for our pantry. And so all of our pressure canning takes place here. And so one of the things we're going to go ahead and do, because this is an open fire, remember that gasket that's at the bottom of the still here on that back part? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to place a fire brick underneath that, so to direct the flame, if any flames get underneath that, to make sure that that high temperature gasket, high temperature silicone gasket doesn't become a melted silicone gasket. So we're going to put a fire brick underneath there to make sure that whatever flames hit the bottom of that are not going to actually have direct contact with this. Now, how do we control our temperature? Because, when you're doing pressure canning over a wood fire, there's a lot of people even online who say it can't be done. Well, we've been doing it now for 3 years and have done thousands of quarts and pints of canned goods over an open fire with our All-American pressure canner. The same way we do the All-American pressure canner and regulate our temperature is the same way we're going to do it with this thing. We have a piece of sheet metal. It's corrugated sheet metal. And how we do this, wire's getting in the way, is basically when the fire's going, if the fire gets too hot, and if the temperature gauge says it's higher than what it needs to be, or it's getting to the place where it could go higher than what it needs to be, we put in this piece of sheet metal over the top of the fire. It just slides, the size of it is, just slides over the bricks right here, right over the top of the fire, and shuts off the heat, or at least severely diminishes it for a while until you need it again, and then you can just pull it off or keep it halfway on, halfway off, so that your still or your all-American pressure canner is getting the heat that it needs so that it can keep going and keep the optimal pressure. Well, now for this thing, you don't want any pressure. It shouldn't have any pressure at all. If there's pressure inside of this, it means there's a problem. How will it work? I don't know. This is all just a giant experiment. So you're going to be along the ride with us to see if it works, and hopefully everything goes as planned. But if it doesn't, it'll be on camera and you can see how it turns out. I talked to Kyle over at Clawhammer Supply, and most people, opt for the heat plate, or they opt for that, the little. It's one of their accessories that fits inside of this bottom of the still here so that they can regulate the temperature that way. Being off-grid, you just don't have that, luxury. So we're going to go old school style and do it over fire, just like we've been doing everything else, and we'll see how it turns out. So, but that's going to be in another video, so you'll have to come back. This is just the assembly video, and I'm going to give you a rundown of how we're going to attempt to tackle this obstacle that's in front of us. But I think we'll figure it out. We figured out the pressure canning stuff. We figured out all kinds of stuff, and that's how you learn, folks. Is you try and you see what happens. Sometimes, it works out great. Sometimes it ends in complete disaster. But you wouldn't know if you didn't, and you wouldn't learn anything if you didn't try. So, all right. So that's our assembly video. We've already gotten a few people who have contacted us after our first video, our unboxing video of this, and said they have purchased it. So that's cool to know. Guys, if you're a Homestead, and there's just no end to the benefits of owning one of these, should a societal collapse happen or times get tough, the medicinal benefits of owning something like this, essential oils, people ask, can you do essential oils with this? Yes, you can. I talked to Kyle over there, and he was saying just how many hoops they had to jump through to get the proper 304 food grade stainless steel that wasn't junk. There's a lot of their competitors who are not using 304 food grade stainless steel. And remember with the video we did over at the TuboBiz guys, it's behind me here, the sorghum sugarcane juicer. They too are really big on making sure you're buying 304 food grade stainless steel. If you want it to last, if you want it to be a good product that's going to give you a good product when you use it, make sure it's 304 food grade stainless steel. There's a lot of people out there, folks, that aren't doing that. And guys over at Clawhammer Supply went above and beyond to make sure they got good materials so that you could have a good product that would last for a good amount of years. I hope my kids are using this one day. So, all right, we'll leave it at that. We'll see you next time on American Homestead. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up button below the video. It really means a lot to us. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Now you can support An American Homestead by becoming a patron. Visit patreon.com/An American Homestead to see all the benefits of becoming a patron of our channel. You'll get access to private videos, pictures, and even live question and answer sessions that you can participate in. Some patrons will even receive free gifts throughout the year from the Homestead. Visit patreon.com/An American Homestead to check it out and see the rewards of supporting our channel.